Time to abandon ship.
Oh no!
Here we go!
Can I persuade you to join us for a drink? It's a tradition.
Here, here.
Jar Jar, homie, my main man, quickly. Before the Separatists attack, get into the escape pod.
Hey! This is escape, then we're the pod.
Hey everybody, this is Josh from Star Wars Escape Pod. Welcome back, and we have two very special guests today. We have Peter from the Star Wars podcast, and we have Iain, who has joined us before, who has also been previously engaged with Star Wars as well. So it's a nice, cool little mashup that we got going here, and we're just going to be chatting about the Mandalorian and Mandalorian Season 2. Lots to look forward to around the corner. So we got that going on today with those two, and I'm super happy, super stoked to have them both. And we'll meet them in just a moment here after this short transition.
Another happy landing.
Hey guys, welcome to the show.
Good to be here, mate.
It's been a while since.
Hi everyone, it's great to be on for the first time.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, it's Peter, right?
That's right.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Well, it's been a while since I've had Iain on. I think, dude, when was the last time I had you on, mate? Was it
After the Rise of
Skywalker?
Skywalker? I think.
Yeah, I think
early
it
this
might have
year.
been.
Yeah.
I think it was actually, and then it was like a catch up thing. Yeah. So yeah, it's always good. It's always good to have you back, Peter. It's awesome to meet you. I know you've been. How long has Star Wars been running for?
Just over a year.
Just over a year. Wow. So what then? Did you start this up last year in October?
So
or
actually,
September?
it'll be a bit longer. So we started in last August. So we had our anniversary in August. So yeah, over a year now. It's crazy with COVID how quick time flies.
Yeah. Oh no, it's insane. I mean, I think like it was around August last year actually that I started this one as well. In fact, I can even tell you exactly like when the first episode dropped of the show, but it's pretty crazy, like, you know, how quickly like time flies, and this whole COVID thing has just sort of August 30th. That was the first episode. It's sort of crazy how COVID has just made time go by so quickly, because a lot of us are inside, you know, not doing as much stuff, and then, you know, 3 weeks goes by and I'll chat with a friend of mine or something, and then I ask them, I was like, oh, how's it going? And they'll just say, good, you know, and what's new? Nothing. Nothing's new, you know. Same old. But yeah, anyway, so what do you guys talk about on Star Wars? Because Iain, I know that you tend to take part in that quite a bit too, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'll let Pete answer what we talk about. It's a great deal.
All right. What do you guys normally focus on?
Sort of everything. So we try to cover news, like when it breaks. We also review. Iain came on and we reviewed the Mandalorian Season 1. I think we did it every 3 episodes we did it, Iain?
Yeah, we tried to get around every 3 or so episodes.
Yeah, and then we did it. I had Christina Moores on from the Closing Credits podcast who reviewed the last season of Clone Wars with myself. We did it, I think it was every arc breakdown. It's like the first 4, the second 4, then the third 4, like an episode each for that.
Right.
And then our latest episode was just a review of the Kylo Ren comic book.
Oh, yeah? Okay, nice. I actually didn't read that. How'd you guys like that one? Because it's still on my list.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was good. It didn't. There were some things that were shocking. Like I didn't really. No, I don't mean that in a bad way, but there was things that I didn't expect it to go in that direction. Like with the Knights of Ren and that, they were different to how I thought they'd be. But no, I'd definitely recommend you reading it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'll definitely be sure to pick it up. I was a little disappointed with the other one that I read that was going into the new film, which was Allegiance or something. I think it was called Star Wars Allegiance.
Yeah, that was a bit.
I was a bit let down
numbers.
because, to be honest, because like when I read the thing and then I finished it off and it had the whole kind of cliffhanger with the Mon Cala and the Mon Calamari and then it sort of said like we'll continue in Rise of Skywalker, and then we went to see the film. And I just didn't feel that there was any continuation off of that comic book at all,
No.
which is too bad, but whatever. So, Peter, I love your display case, by the way. I got the exact same one behind me from
Crew.
Yeah, the classic, the IKEA display case there. Yeah, what you got inside it?
So I've got two. I don't know if you can see both.
Yeah.
So I've got one where I've got do you know the sculpture puzzles, the 3D sculpture puzzles?
Oh yeah,
I've got a
I
Jar Jar
used to
Binks
own one of those. Yeah.
I've got Jar Jar Binks. He's on one shelf with Episode 1 Mace Windu figure. And then I've got a Darth Vader sculpture puzzle, and he is on a shelf with a Tarkin Kenner figure. And then I've got my 90s Kenner X-Wing, and then I've got a Lego TIE, the TIE from Rogue One. The names escape me right now.
Oh yeah, the that one with the downward wings, right, or something.
Yeah, they go up and down.
TIE Striker?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I think so.
I think it is. Yeah, I'm not sure.
And then in my other D12, I've got this one's not very well organised. I've got some exclusive figs. I've got the Episode 1 20th anniversary series Obi-Wan. On top of that, I've got my 90s Millennium Falcon from Kenner. And then I've got some Droid Factory figures from the Disney parks. And then I've also got my Snowspeeder from the 90s in the bottom that is missing a cannon. Very heavily played with as a kid.
It's packed in there. Now, is this the Disney parks from I guess the closest one to you guys would be, is it Paris? Or is this the Disney parks from down in the States?
So I picked up, so I got a chopper, which I picked up at Celebration Orlando. So that was from the Celebration Disney store that was there. And I've got a pack of 4 Astromechs as well. That was from videos while I was there for the same trip. And then I've got 2 holiday specials, R2 Boo and R2H16. So they're like 2 Astromechs. One's a Halloween special, one's a Christmas special. And I was lucky enough to, a friend of mine, Savannah, her family live in Florida, and they were able to pick those up for us and just post them to the UK. So very lucky there.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I was actually there in Orlando for the 2017. That was the only celebration I've ever been to. But it was very cool. Like I would love to go back, and I would love if they hosted it in Florida again, because that's kind of my more preferred location. Like I'm not a big fan of the California area too much. It's just I don't know. I feel like there's not enough to do there. Whereas like Florida, you got like the better Disney park, like the better Universal. There's a bunch of options over there. But it was pretty busy, hey? Like,
yeah, so busy.
Yeah.
So my first celebration was London, which was the year before. Over here in the UK, I think at the time, like Celebration was I think it was that well known.
Yeah.
It was a lot more easier to get in and out of things and move around. And then when I came out for Celebration Orlando, which was my second one, the difference was huge in like how crowded everywhere was, the queues, how early you had to get places. It was really crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was insane. I just remember walking down around the massive convention hall with this endless lineup. Every corner that I took, just far as the eye could see, just had to walk. More people, thousands. Like it was apparently somebody there that was working there told us it was the busiest one that they've ever had, which is pretty nuts. But Yeah. Now they have had one in London before. I think it was around the same time that Rogue One came out. Did you guys attend that one?
That was my first one, yeah.
I didn't attend it, no, because I was on holiday. I didn't know. I booked a holiday before I knew it was coming, so I missed it. I haven't been to one. I've always wanted to go to one.
Yeah.
The next one's going to be a no-go because I get married a month after it happens in 2022, so I've got no chance of going to that one. So I'm praying eventually one comes back to London eventually.
Hey, congratulations, by the way. I mean, I know that was a tweet a while back, but yeah, that's awesome news. So, have you guys planned everything out yet, or?
We got the venue booked and everything, yeah. So just waiting now, getting money saved.
What are the restrictions right now with the venue being booked and all that? Is there a cap on how many people you can have, or?
If you get married now, you can't have more than 15. But like we get married in 2 years' time, and hopefully that'll hopefully it'll be gone by 2022.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, I mean, here's hoping that that's the case because family friends of ours, like, my family's had a wedding this past summer, and the cap here, at least in British Columbia in Canada, is 50 people tops. In a venue, right? So, yeah. It's not too bad. I mean, our theaters are open. Of course, it's only 50 people per screening room, so when you buy tickets, you can only get them 2 at a time. They're all spaced apart and stuff like that. But as soon as the theater opened, like one of the movies they started playing again just to kind of get people back in the doors again was Empire Strikes Back. So, of course, this year being the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back, I was like, what there's no better time to see it, because like I've never seen it in the theater myself. I never went to any of those marathons that they did. And they have done them in the past. Like they did one before Episode 9 came out. They did like a whole, like the whole thing, like excluding the anthology films. They did episodes 1 through 9, and then Episode 9. I think everyone watched it at like 6 p.m. or something like that on the Friday or the Thursday. They were like one of the first groups to see it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, sitting down watching 9 movies at once, it's a lot. I don't know if I could manage that, and I didn't want to buy a ticket just to only watch like part of them. So yeah, I've never actually seen Empire in the theater up until this year, so it was a good year to see it. But is that available over there to you guys right now, or is that just around here?
I went and saw it in the cinema over the summer. Obviously, at the moment, the cinemas are shutting down at the moment in this country because no one can go to it because of the way the UK is dealing with COVID, which isn't a great thing. But yeah, I went and saw it in I can't remember when it was. I think August. Yeah, I've never seen it in the cinema. Obviously, I wasn't born when it first came out, and yeah, I've never been to any of the movie marathons. But yeah, I went and saw it over the summer, and I loved it.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, that's great. Yeah, what about you, Peter?
Yeah, so I managed to catch it in August as well. So when the cinemas reopened, that was one of the sort of the classic movies that was shown here in the UK to get audiences back in. I have seen it once before. I saw the 1997 special edition in cinemas. That was the first time I saw it in a theatre. So this was like the second time for me watching it in a theatre.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So how old were you when that came out then? It must have been when you were pretty young.
97. So I was born in 1989, so I would have been 8.
Okay, yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah. Do you remember that experience, or is that too far back now that it's pretty hard to recall?
I remember, like, because I didn't see A New Hope, I don't think, the special editions. I missed it. So that was like my first time watching a Star Wars like inside a cinema. Like I remember sitting down and like it's starting and being excited, but other than that, that's all I remember really.
I see. I was born in '95, so I guess the first one that I probably would have been actually, old enough to go see. Well, I mean, I could have gone to see the Phantom Menace, but my dad didn't take me. I could have gone to see Attack of the Clones, but he just didn't take me. Right? It wasn't until I guess I wasn't like a massive Star Wars fan at the age of like 6 or whatever it was at the time. But when Revenge of the Sith came out, that was the one that I went and saw in the theater. And yeah, I mean, that's the only one I think out of the original 6 that I was able to catch Unfortunately, I wish I could have seen the other ones as well. Or at least said I could have been there. But yeah, is that the same for you, Ian? Or like, did you manage to catch those specials? Or
91, I was born, so the first one I saw in the cinema was the Phantom Menace.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, it was the first one I saw, which I loved. I always loved the Phantom Menace.
yeah, no, totally. Now, do you remember the hype, or is it so vague?
No, I was 8 years old, so I didn't
Right.
obviously follow. I wasn't on the internet, but obsessing about everything. No, I just went and saw it and I loved it. I'd already seen the originals
Yeah,
at that point. My mum and dad had shown me them on VHS, but no, I don't remember the hype, but I loved the Phantom Menace. It was the first one I've seen in the cinema.
I love that movie. I love the Phantom Menace. I have a special edition VHS from the Phantom Menace. It's like a limited box or whatever, and it has like this piece of like a film, with the cardboard cut out around it and stuff, and yeah, it's cool. My aunt gave it to me because she bought it when that came out on VHS, but you can't even buy VHS anymore. But it's a cool thing to have. But yeah. So anyway, Mandalorian. Did you guys do a rewatch recently, or was the last time you saw that a year ago?
I've rewatched it here and there in the last year, but the last time I sat down and watched every single episode was about 6 months ago. But I put my odd favourite episodes on every now and then.
Yeah.
Just to have a look.
Yeah. What about you,
I
Peter?
started a rewatch this week, so I think I'm about halfway through my rewatch.
Okay.
I've watched it twice, all the way through. Like I watched it when it first came out, and I watched it again when the UK got Disney Plus. I watched it all again, and this is my third time starting again from the beginning.
Yeah, that's right.
just
Yeah,
finish
you
it
guys
just in
had
time.
to. Yeah, you guys had to wait a while for that to come out. Wasn't it like?
Yeah, wait till March.
March. Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
man, I don't get it. I don't get why they waited so long, because like they could have easily like brought in so much more money if they just launched it early,
It was
I guess.
it was something to do with basically our biggest broadcaster in the UK is Sky, and Disney have deals with Sky, and apparently the reason that they couldn't launch Disney Plus until March was something to do with television contracts or something. So that's why we had to wait till March. Yeah, because I was saying, me and Pete used to whinge all the time about trying to find alternative methods to watch it.
Oh yeah.
Because I wasn't waiting until March, I'll tell you that now.
What can you do, right? I mean,
No.
Well, hey, I mean, if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll do anything to get that content right away. I get it.
Yeah, it's not like you can.
It's
It's
one
not
of
like you. Yeah, go on, Pete.
Yeah.
One of the things where like when you consider like what the ending of episode 1 of The Mandalorian was,
Yeah.
and how it got sort of went crazy is like the most popular thing in the world. Like if we hadn't watched it the way we did, we would have had that spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
Because we watched it the way we did, we were able to enjoy it in the story and be like wowed at the end, at the final scene. And I would have hated to have had to found out through a meme or through like someone tweeting about it, like the child or Baby Yoda. But luckily, because of the way I watch it, I was able to experience that. But going on what Ian was saying about like the Sky deal, so Sky have licenses for like a lot of, well at the time, for a lot of Disney movies and a lot of Marvel movies and the Star Wars movies. I think if they had launched Disney Plus in the UK before March, a lot of the content wouldn't have been there. But I always said that they could have launched it in the UK with just The Mandalorian on, like a starter price of like say £5 or $5. All the Star Wars fans would have bought it, and as soon as all the content came on in March, then up the price. But that wasn't a thing, so we had to do it the way we did.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sky's like Disney's go-to, I guess, for playing a movie on television over there, hey?
Yeah, it's like basically satellite TV,
Yeah.
and you have to have literally everything goes through Sky now. But they're starting to lose their grip a bit, obviously with streaming and that. And right. I'm going to be pretty honest. It's ridiculously overpriced for what we have to pay. Like I'm obviously into football and that, so it's Pete. We support the same team, and if you want there's a big uproar at the moment in this country about Sky about how much they're trying to charge people to watch a game of football, and
What?
I'm not but basically when lockdown lifted, all the games were on telly, and you could watch them. But now they've come out and said if you want to watch games that weren't picked for telly, you have to pay £15 per game.
Oh my goodness.
So on top of what you already pay, because you already pay like £30 a month for Sky Sports. That's just you end up paying about £100 a month for everything. And so on top of the subscription you pay, you have to pay £15 on top of that if you want to watch your team, which everyone is not overly thrilled about. So I'm not one of Sky's biggest fans, to be honest.
Yeah, I know the virtual overlord controlling all your media.
Yeah.
No, that sucks. I mean,
it's especially when you look in other countries and you can get every game of football from England for something like $20 a month.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can watch wherever you want. But in some reason in the UK we have to pay a ridiculous sum of money to watch football.
There's an app over here called DAZN or DAZ.
DAZN.
Is it? Yeah. Do you have access to that?
Yeah. It's launching in the UK soon because a lot of boxing's on it. I know that.
Yeah.
I know it's launching in the UK soon. Yeah.
Might be a good solution because I know my dad used to. They don't pay for at my family's place. They've never ever paid for television ever. I've always grown up without. So all my shows and stuff, like Peter kind of thing, I had to find other ways to watch the shows I want to watch. But I grew up without it. He's never had it, and so when it came down to watching any like NHL hockey games or whatever, he couldn't, or like the Super Bowl. For him, it's like the Super Bowl every year. He wants to watch it, so he can't. So what he did one year was like he just subscribed to like a trial and just used it to watch that one game, and then canceled right away, and that was it. But it actually worked pretty well. Like you get the live stream and everything, and so, it might be a good solution, I guess, if Sky's
I hope
being
so.
a pain in the butt. Yeah. But you got a lovely poster back there, Mandalorian. The craziest canon collection of books that I've like ever seen. I know that you tend to like stay on top of all that stuff. Like
that's right too.
Yeah, when A New Dawn came out, I had this plan because at that point there'd been like over 200 accumulated expanded universe novels and stuff like that, right? Not including like all the comic books and it was just so much, and I was like, I'm never possibly going to be able to read all of these, right? And then when Disney did what they did and like they were like, hey, we're going to start fresh. This is the first canon book. I was like, yes, like I'm just going to buy all of them like as soon as they come out, So I started doing that, and then there was just so many, I just couldn't keep on top of it at all. And now I've got like I've got maybe three or four cubbies. I got the same piece of furniture that Peter's got back there, the white thing, but it's the Calyx from IKEA, except I got like the biggest like black one, and I've got the first four cubbies at the top, like just filled with Star Wars books and comics and all that stuff. But at this point, it's only like probably maybe half, I guess, of like what is actually available, like what you got back there, which is pretty much everything. Is there anything you're missing?
Battlefront Twilight Company. I don't have that.
Okay.
It's in a shop in where I live, but it's still like £15. I'm waiting for it because it's been there for about 5 years. I'm waiting for him to stick it in the clearance so I can get it. I'm not paying £15 for it. I've read it. I got it on like Kindle for free. Right. But I just need that one. I think. To be fair.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Like that is very impressive. I don't
pretty
know
sure
if anyone else. I mean, maybe Rancho Obi-Wan might have a copy of all of them, but I think you're the only guy that probably has every single one.
I'm sure there's one I'm missing, probably somewhere. But yeah. I enjoy reading them. To be fair.
Do you have them all in order?
Timeline order. I try to.
Yeah.
I went on Wikipedia the other day because setting up here, and I'm just trying to get them in. And then you find two sites that have them in different places. You're like, which one? But
yeah.
But
do you stay on top of the books like Iain over there?
Try to. But just to show my desk. So I bought this probably 3 weeks ago, and it is the new Thrawn book.
Oh yeah, the Thrawn Ascendancy. Okay, yeah.
But I haven't finished Thrawn Treason yet.
Yeah,
So-
actually, I'm in the same boat. I still need to finish that one. I've read the first two. I need to do a third one. Yeah, I just got busy and fell behind with that kind of stuff, and yeah, I don't know. I was very surprised though that Timothy Zahn is like just pumping these new books out like no tomorrow, right?
I
Yeah.
never finished Thrawn Treason.
You never finished it. You didn't like
I
it?
need to. I just thought it was a bit dull, if I'm being honest. I just thought it was a lot of I just thought it was a bit. Obviously, I'll probably go back and read it, like.
Yeah.
But I think I had like something else to read at the time as well. But I just thought it was a bit dull. It just seemed a bit. I prefer the new one. I've read the new one that Pete just mentioned, and I really enjoyed that one. But it's kind of hard when the Thrawn books them first reading brought the second Alliances and Treason are sandwiched in between seasons of Rebels.
Yeah.
So there's not really much you can do there. But the new Thrawn book I really enjoyed. It's like the first of a trilogy, and I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's good to know. I'll yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll try and listen to Thrawn Treason while I'm working or something like that. Then I'm not.
I'm gonna have to go back and read it now, Anna. I've just said that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now that you said that, you let me know how it is.
Yeah, I will do.
Yeah. So in general, I guess like expectations for season 1 for Mandalorian were like everyone was blown away, just like how awesome it was, and I know all of us have wanted Dave Filoni in the director's chairs for a very long time, so it was very liberating to finally see that that's actually where things are going, and I gotta say, like, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni make a pretty good team, but when the first time that you guys like watched the show, like what did you think about it initially? You know, after like beginning to end, you know, when it was over, what did you think?
I think so I was in the panel at Celebration Chicago. So I was like very lucky to be in there. And, like the stuff they showed in there blew my mind with like what we were getting with this show. I wasn't expecting it to be like as crazy as it was in like a good way. Like so like they showed the clip of IG-11 wrecking shop like in the panel.
Yeah.
It was just like insane to think like, wow, like we're getting this type of content. So like after that panel, I was just like, can't believe we're going to get this. And then when the show debuted, it totally held up those expectations. I like how it was sort of telling the story on a smaller scale, just between sort of a few characters, not really on a huge, wide galaxy. But in terms of the whole galaxy, just in terms of what these few people are doing, but like the attention to detail, like the monkey lizards in the cages, this Imperial remnant and how worn down they were, Razor Crest, like how awesome that looks, and like the budget of a TV show and how all the space scenes look as great as they do in a movie. The attention to detail and the costuming, not just the Mandos, but like everyone else's as well. The Mando going hand-to-hand combat with Trandoshans, like just the things that were happening in the show, things that like you would, I know it's like everyone says, but like things you would play out with your action figures, or like if you dreamt up scenarios in your head, it's the things you would dream up with, like, or I'll have loads of Bosks who would fight Boba Fett, and it would be like a one big brawl, and then like we actually got that. It was pretty crazy in a good way, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, what about you, Iain?
Yeah, just echoing what Pete said. Yeah, I saw like bits of it. Like I saw bits of the footage from Celebration online, and then I just when it started, I was hooked. It's just unbelievable. You could tell they weren't messing around with the budget. It looked like a movie. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like, oh, you can tell this is like, because sometimes like I'd say to like obviously an Avengers film, you can tell they spend no expense, and then you see some of the Marvel TV shows, and you're like, yeah, this is a bit low budget. Like, there's none of that. Like they definitely put the money into it, and I think like season 2, I think the budget will probably be doubled to it.
Yeah.
Just for the success of the show.
Oh,
All the
no,
money they've made off
honestly,
Baby Yoda merch.
Yeah. Speaking of which I'm getting one of those. I ordered one of the life-size child figures from the Sideshow website, but it's made by the company that made the actual like prop for the series. Yeah, which is pretty crazy because I don't know. I guess it's the closest thing that you can get to owning like an actual, the actual thing, but. It looks great, like all the final photographs of that thing, and it's insane. But I think it'll be the only life-size thing that I actually buy, because a lot of life-size objects are in the $1,000 like range. Like you buy like a life-size Darth Vader for like $9,000, and I don't know. I guess I don't know what that is in pounds, but it's a lot. Yeah. So yeah, but this thing though, it's only like it was only like $350 like when it first launched, and then it went up to like $375. But that's US, mind you. But so around like 500 Canadian or something like that. But yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, for a life-size object that looks amazing, I'm pretty stoked. And everyone loves it. Even people who aren't Star Wars fans, I found, at least after I watched the show, I found a lot of people who I didn't expect to like the show or didn't expect to be very pleased with it because or even check it out because they might not have been a Star Wars fan. They loved it. And I was like, this is the show for everybody. Like this is the show. I guess for a lot of us, like Star Wars fans, it was a movie that actually got us into the fandom, right? And I never really thought about it this way, but kind of like how some Star Wars fans who started getting into Star Wars because of shows like The Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels. The Mandalorian is a show for people who aren't exactly really young, and it's a show for people who are like older and have never really gotten into the Star Wars like rhythm. And they've watched that show and they're like, oh, this is a Star Wars show. Like, this is cool. Like, I can get into this. So I think there's a lot of people out there that weren't into Star Wars before from the films necessarily, and now they've seen The Mandalorian, and now they're kind of like getting into it, right? Which is pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of potential there. And I think in the classic fashion of Star Wars, like, The Mandalorian reinvented some sort of a wheel, again, with the whole... like what ILM did with their virtual projection background, and like lifetime rendering of being able to change the environments and stuff like that. Like that was all super cool. I mean, like that's never really been done before. It's something. Did you guys watch the Walt Disney documentary on Disney Plus?
I did, yeah. It's steer, like you were saying, with the technology, with the volume, I think it's called.
It was, it was some. Is that what it's called? It was like this projection room that Walt Disney had envisioned, and it was this very futuristic thing, which nobody was doing at the time, where they were taking multiple projectors, multiple cameras on a rig. And recording something at one. It was basically like a really old school version of what might be like a 360-degree camera like these days, which it's got all the little camera like GoPro camera lenses on it. But it was this giant rig and massive cameras with actual film, and they were all filming at the same time. And then they would take that footage and actually like project it onto screens that would have a border between them, but it would be in this like wide array that would kind of like wrap around you a bit, and then the next version or whatever was even better, and it was like a 360-degree screen and a lot more visibility and everything like that. And I don't think he would ever I mean I think his hope was that one day it might actually be used for something, but I mean the concept and the idea of having this like 360-degree projection of like something, and then having flash forward like 60 years or whatever, or however long it's been since that was a thing, and now it's the same concept but done digitally, and then using super high quality 4K or 8K projectors that you know have the background in this like omnisphere dome with like a practical set in the middle, you know, and then they're filming inside of that, which is insane, and the background is tracked to like the camera and everything. It's crazy. Like it's like a whole new generation of what filming can accomplish on a very confined budget. Well, not super confined, but you know, not exactly, you know, $200 million per episode kind of thing. We're talking about like 10 or 12, but yeah, it's pretty crazy like what the times have done, and I think this is something that actually like honors George Lucas's legacy as to what he left behind, because he's a guy that also kept on reinventing that wheel as to like how Star Wars was done and how it affected the rest of the film industry in general. I mean, the first one breaking so many different records and winning an incredible amount of Oscars, and then, you know, going on from there, every single one has like their own thing that they did, you know, and even THX, the audio company, like reinventing how audio is experienced in a movie theater, and then Attack of the Clones being the first movie to force theaters to be converting their rooms to digital rather than running film projectors, which they were still doing like in the early 2000s. They hadn't fully switched over to digital projectors yet. So it's pretty crazy like how far I think people like that have pushed this industry, and like the stuff that we get today, kind of like Mandalorian, is a result of all of that, and it's a result that is also doing its part to like give us better content in the future. So I can only imagine what, you know, a live action Star Wars show will look like 10 years down the road, because I think we all know here that they're not just gonna stop making Star Wars stuff anytime soon. I mean, Disney made a pretty big investment and they plan to collect, but I'm looking forward to it. So what are you guys thinking about season 2? Like what do you think we'll see?
I think if you want to dive into the footage we've seen, I've noticed, I can't remember the guy's name, you'll probably know, the blue sort of aquatic alien who the Mando collects in episode 1.
I don't know his name. I really don't.
It looks like he is in the troop tank, the troop transport.
Yeah, I
with
saw a flash of
Mando
him in the trailer, yeah.
So I wonder if they've broken him out of like an Imperial prison, which, you know, the timeline would suggest he'd be in the New Republic prison, but maybe there's still an Imperial prison somewhere. Because he's in the troop transport with and Mando, and then it looks like the speeder bikes are chasing after them.
Right.
So I like how I just like how like a character who wasn't really in it much but had a lot to say in that first episode, and then he's going to like reappear here and maybe help the team, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sort of a little throwback to season 1.
I like that idea. Yeah, because like we really didn't get much of him, and I don't know. I thought he was a funny character. You know, just kind of he fit that perfect role for introducing the Mandalorian and then just showing how awkward he could be like around other people that he just didn't talk to and stuff like that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see like what they bring him back for, because I thought that he was just kind of it's like, oh, he's gone kind of thing, right? Never thought I'd see him again, but yeah, no, that's a good point. What do you guys think about the snowy planets? Like where do you think that is? Or do you think it's like a new location, old location?
I would love it to be Ilum, but I don't think it will be. But I saw in the trailer the other day there's a dead like spider creature on the Razor Crest on the icy planet. I saw that in the trailer, so I don't know whether I'm probably going to be a new planet. I would have thought. I had a thought once that it might have been Cronus, the place where Sabine's family lives. Maybe it says in the trailer he's searching for other Mandalorians to guide him. So he's obviously looking out for Mandalorians, and I probably believe that's Mandalorians that we know. I don't think he'd be looking for like random Mandalorians we've never met.
Right.
So I think that's where like Sabine, maybe Bo-Katan, they've been rumoured.
Are you talking about like that snowy planet that showed up in Rebels?
Yes, yeah, I saw a theory saying that could be it, but I don't think it is. But it'd be cool because if he's looking for Mandalorians live there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I forget what that planet is called, by the way, but
Coronist.
Coronist. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's a, yeah, that's a good theory. I like that one. I mean, what are some other theories? Like, I'm trying to remember the trailer now. Oh yeah, there's this woman with like a hood, like a cloak on, and nobody knows who she is. I think she's like a completely new character, but like, who do you guys think she is?
That is
I
played
know.
by the wrestler Sasha Banks, isn't it?
Yeah, like the wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's who's playing that role. I know, obviously, she's wearing a hood, so she's definitely. Or is she a spy, or is she a assassin? The hood reminded me of like similar to the Night Sister hoods. So I'm not saying she's a Night Sister, but maybe she's linked in some way, or some sort of dark assassin. I don't know. I think it looks like she's watching the crowd. It's hard to tell. It's one quick clip, isn't it? She's like watching the crowd. Sorry. And then like sort of vanishes after she sort of spotted the Mando by the looks of it. So I wouldn't know if she's maybe an assassin working for Moff Gideon, or I wonder if there's more into this sort of Sith assassins who Chief Bastoon belongs to from the Rise of Skywalker. Maybe there's more of those, and maybe she's connected to that.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Yeah, very interesting. I don't know. Is there anything that you guys can think of that might be speculatory? I guess.
Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think of that?
I think that obviously Timothy Oliphant's been cast apparently as Cobb Vanth, which is a character from the Aftermath trilogy, who is the last person we know in possession of Boba Fett's armor. I don't know whether, obviously, with the Mandalorian looking for Mandalorians, he hears about someone on Tatooine wearing Mandalorian armor. But then, obviously, yeah, go on.
Did you so Cobb Vanth, like, he was a character for anybody who didn't read those books. He was a character that showed up in the Aftermath trilogy in some of the interludes on Tatooine, and he was like, how would you describe him? Like a gunslinger, kind of like, he stole the armor from, was it some Jawas? I forget.
There was obviously a crime syndicate trying to move into Tatooine, obviously with Jabba the Hutt dying. There's a bit of a power vacuum on Tatooine, and he takes this representative of the crime syndicate into the sandcrawler with the Jawas, and the crime syndicate guy tries to take the arm, and he's like, no, that's for me. And then it obviously sets off the three interludes where this crime syndicate try and take him out, but you find out he's a slave. They leave his backstory very vague. There's a few bits in it where he's like, oh, you don't know my story and all that type of thing. So he's just he's an ex-slave who tries to bring a bit of law and order to Tatooine.
Yeah.
And I think that's possibly who we could see in Boba Fett's armor. But then Tamora Morrison's rumored to be coming back and to be rumoured to be playing Boba Fett. Because eventually I think we'll see the Mandalorian face Boba Fett one day. I don't know whether it'll be season 2. But.
And you see, this is one of the things that I'm starting to cringe about, because I would love to see a continuation / acknowledgement of like those 3 books. And yet I'm also worried that it's just not going to happen, and that they're gonna skip the whole like Cobb Vanth like storyline and just go straight to like Boba Fett survived the Sarlacc, here he is again, kind of thing. Like, it just makes me wonder like if they're gonna do that or not, because Tamora Morrison is rumored to be reprising his role as Boba Fett. So I mean, if we're to like think about it for a second, go, okay, it's been 5 years since Return of the Jedi. Cobb Vanth has been running around in Boba Fett's armor this whole time, and now we're getting Tamora Morrison come back to play the character. It's like, are we going to see some sort of encounter between Cobb Vanth and Boba Fett? And then is that going to have something to do with like the Mandalorian in any way as well, right?
I could see
I think-
it being, yeah. Go on, Pete.
So obviously like, in that episode where Nick Shand gets shot, like there's a deliberate shot there at the end of someone approaching her.
Yeah.
Who that is, we don't know. Obviously, they do use the boot spur sound that they've got from Empire Strikes Back when Boba Fett is walking with Ansel and Coventry's, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think like that shot's in there deliberate. I think Dave Filoni, I think he's always looking at like the bigger picture. So sprinkle this in here, and then it's going to be part of the story in the next season. Case in point would be the space whales. So you sprinkle them in. Can't remember what season they were in, but is it 2 or 3 they appear?
Two, I think, yeah.
Well,
Everyone
then
thought it was
obviously
filler.
everyone's saying it's filler, and then it's actually like the biggest part of the ending of the show. So yeah, I think like obviously, I think when they wrote that, I think they've known exactly who that is. Obviously, they haven't told us that. I think we're going to find out now. It's either Boba Fett or Cobb Vanth, I think. Most probably Cobb Vanth. I'd imagine he's like the sheriff of Tatooine type of thing. So if he's found someone, probably heard that there's been some shots out there. Probably heard there's been some assassins hiding out there, and he's gone to have a look, and he's found an injured assassin. Maybe that's how he ends up getting in contact with the Mandalorian, or in contact with Boba Fett. That way, I think we'll see. Not sure, is Ming-Na Wen confirmed for season 2?
No.
No, I don't believe she is. Yeah, I think she's dead.
Well,
Like her character.
yeah. Let's see, but I think someone investigated that death, if it was a death, or someone found her and managed to bring her, like, to save her life. So I'd imagine that if she was saved, she'll be pretty angry at who did it, and we'll be after them. Maybe that's how we get the sort of Cobb Vanth coming into contact with the Mandalorian. I think obviously he's wearing Mandalorian armor. I think was it me and you, Ian, who discussed this? Where I think it was yourself who suggested that maybe Mando takes the armor off Cobb Vanth, saying like that's not your heritage, and Boba Fett tracks him down to get the armor back, type of thing.
Yeah, I could see that happening, yeah, definitely. Because I don't know what Boba Fett would have been doing for 5 years. It's the only thing that stops me thinking that this could be, like, legit. Because I don't know why it would take him 5 years to try and get his armour back unless he's a bit down on his luck, maybe. But, yeah, I could definitely see that the man... Because I'm sure I saw, like, a freeze frame of one of the trailers on the back of his speeder bike on Tatooine. It looks like Boba Fett's armour's hanging off the side.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he takes it, and then that's how Boba Fett... Because eventually I could see Boba Fett coming after the child. So right. I could see eventually...
Like that, first store kind of thing, right?
Yeah, because he basically... He's only interested in bounties, isn't he? So...
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they're good people, bad people. Doesn't matter to Boba Fett.
Yeah. No,
you have to remember that...
Go ahead, yeah.
Obviously, the Jedi killed his dad, so he doesn't like Mace Windu because he killed his dad. You get the Clone Wars arc where he's after revenge on the Jedi, so if he hears of this new... You could say Luke Skywalker was part of his demise at the Battle of the... Lost Palace. So you could say that maybe, this Force-sensitive child, I don't like Force users, they've caused me a lot of pain. I'm going to go off and get this Force user from Moff Gideon.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, yeah.
Right. Sorry, I got my alarm going off right now. Hold on. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. Normally on Saturday I have my alarm to wake up at 10 a.m., but today was an exception. Just forgot I left it on in the background. But so yeah, I mean, there's one other big theory that's circling around season 2, and that's the fact that this whole Rosario Dawson casting as Ahsoka Tano, right? Now, I mean, I love the idea of like, because I mean, Rosario Dawson like has that visual look, I guess, to Ahsoka Tano. She's also a brilliant actress, and I don't know. I think she would play the character great. I also think that Ashley Eckstein kind of deserved to play that role as far as like live action choices go. I mean, she's the one who brought this character to life for over 10 years. So I think when it comes down to the casting choice, I mean, I'm still a little split on it. But I mean, as far as the character actually showing up in the show, like, what do you guys think about that happening? And do you think it's kind of necessary / needed? Like, how do you think that's going to happen if it does?
I don't think they bring her in. Oh, go on, Pete. Sorry, man.
I was just gonna say, like, as long as it makes sense, like, as long as they're not putting sort of square pegs in round holes. If it makes sense for the story to bring Ahsoka Tano into it, then do it 100%. But if it's just a case of trying to get eyes on the product, they don't need to get eyes on the product. It was the most show in history, I believe, season 1. So, like, for me, they don't need to use the character, get eyes on the product. So for me, it has to 100% be for a story reason. I think if they are going to do it, it has to 100% work. I mean, you can sort of see where it makes sense. Obviously, like, the Mando is now looking for 4 Jedi to deliver the child to. Ahsoka Tano is alive at this point. She is, I mean, she's not part of the Jedi Order, but like, she was a Jedi, and she's no longer a Jedi, but she's still a good person and a good Force user who would be known as a Jedi to the public who encounter her, I'd imagine. So that sort of makes sense. I'm just like, I don't know. Gets scary because it's like, if they get this wrong, like, could damage the whole show. A bit nervous about it, but I mean, they've always used Ahsoka very, very wisely, so hopefully that continues.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, go ahead, Iain.
I have complete faith in them not to just think, oh, we'll bring this person in. I think there'll be a reason if she's in it. Like, I know it's pretty much nailed on that she's in it.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be, to be fair, I think it'd be pretty funny if she wasn't in it after all the reports have said she's in it, because people would be like, whoa, okay.
I think that would be the biggest, craziest thing ever if, like, this whole time people have been like, yeah, she's going to be in it, and then it's like she isn't.
Oh, yeah, I think I'd log off Twitter for a good couple of weeks.
Because I think it'd be the biggest, like, sight ever, but... I think
I'd just sit back and watch.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think Dave Filoni's the kind of guy, though, that, I mean, he's so good at, like, avoiding people's questions around anything that he's trying to keep a secret, right? So I honestly wouldn't be that surprised if this whole thing was like a big fan theory that just got blown way out of proportion, and somehow it just stuck, kind of thing. Unlike the like, if it wasn't for what's his face saying clearly on Twitter that he wasn't playing a live action Ezra Bridger, he kind of like set off his own rumor, right? And so when it comes down to something like that, it's like maybe Rosario Dawson said something that, you know, I guess egged people on to respond the way that they did. Like, you know, as fans, like, we're all like, oh yeah, cool, like live action Ahsoka. And then it just stuck, and she never came out to like deny that this was or wasn't happening. But I don't know. I mean, like, is there any clear indication that she is doing it? Did she stay on record at any point that she's coming back?
So from the Hollywood Reporter, like, reported it as fact. They've got at least two sources on record saying that Rosario Dawson is Ahsoka Tano. So like, they've reported, and then the reporter and /film have both reported that as fact, as real journalistic pieces, and as respectable Hollywood media outlets. So Lucasfilm have declined to comment, as they have on everything over this year to do with The Mandalorian, which really riled me up, because I think, like, they knew it was going to get out. They should have, like, dropped some little set pictures just to tease one, get me excited, rather than find out for a new story. And then off the back of that, Rosario Dawson was doing a talk show appearance, I believe, and they asked her about that, and she went, once that's confirmed, it'll be good to talk about, but I can't at the minute.
Right. Yeah. What were you going to say, Ian?
Yeah, I was going to say what Pete said. Yeah, I saw a comment from her saying that, it'll be good once it's confirmed. So I assume, I'm 99.9% sure she's in the show. But,
how do you think then that they're actually going to introduce her to the show? Because I think, if I'm going to share your mind, if she is in it, I think that she will be that character that ends up being the person in which, the Mandalorian takes the child to, because he's been tasked with finding a Jedi, right, to return this child to a Jedi. So I don't know, do you think that that's a likely possibility that Ahsoka Tano's appearance will be when he actually gets to his goal?
I think that now that in the trailer said he's looking for Mandalorians, I think he comes across Sabine, who was last time we saw her was with Ahsoka. So I reckon, I don't know, this is the thing, I don't know what's going on with Ezra. I don't know if they found him at this point. I don't know if he's back. If he's not back, I assume they're still looking for him, because I don't know exactly where that takes place. I think it takes place after the Return of the Jedi, where they go off to look for him. I don't know how long that search takes. No one does. We all want to know what happens there.
Right.
So
I think a lot of us were hoping for a continuated animated series too, right?
That's the rumour. Yeah. Another rumour that there is one out there, apparently. But until it's announced...
Yeah, so many things to hope for.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyways, we're approaching an hour here, so I guess we'll just wrap up. But, if anybody is out there listening to this, and you don't have Ian or Peter on Twitter, what are you guys' handles? How can they follow you and get in touch with you?
I was waiting for us to go. I'm on Twitter at Star Wars Ian, all lowercase. That's where you can find me.
Awesome.
And I'm on Twitter at Pete Hitman Hart, named for Bret Hart, my favourite wrestler. And you can find the podcast on Twitter at Boars Star. That's just Star Wars reversed for the Twitter account there.
Hey guys, well thanks again for coming back on the show, and we'll see you guys again at some point. We'll do this again sometime, eh?
Cheers, man.
Cheers, Thomas. Thank you.
Alright guys, thanks again for tuning in to Star Wars Escape Pod, and make sure you go check out the Star Wars podcast, as well as Ian and Peter on Twitter, because they have, they're great Star Wars fans, they're very massive Star Wars fans, and quite frankly, if you are into Star Wars on any level whatsoever, you should be following their accounts, because they got something good going for them. So you can follow Ian at Star Wars Ian, that is IAIN, Ian, and his title there is The Mandalorian, so very smart. And Peter can also be found at his Star Wars podcast account, which is at Boars Star, and his personal account is also going to be listed in the description box below. So you can also reach us at theescapepod@outlook.com, as well as our Twitter handle at SW Escape Podcast, and we have a link to the Discord, which you are very welcome to join on our Twitter feed, as well as in the description box below, as well as our SpeakPipe address. Drop us a voicemail. We'd love to hear your voice on the show as well. And you know what? We're found on any platform across the galaxy. But if you're on Apple Podcasts, a 5-star review definitely helps. And we'd love to hear what you guys think of this week's episode. So make sure you drop some feedback. And we're looking forward to having you back, tuning into Star Wars Escape Pod. So we'll see you next time. And may the Force be with you.